Hello, and welcome back to Adaptation, the blog for film adaptations and the original material they are based on. I'm Jessica Dunn, and this week we are paying homage to arguably the most widely read writer ever, our good old friend William Shakespeare. Specifically, I'll be presenting you with our host's top 5 choices for best Shakespearean adaptations. On screen, for the most part. And before we get any further, let me just say, this was really hard. There are so many good ones, guys. You don't even know. Or maybe you do. But we had to narrow it down somehow. And I think we tended to pick not only those that were best in representation, but also those that really captured the intention behind the original play. And in at least one case, a shared favorite for all. You'll see. So, straight from the gate, our hosts really enjoyed the film Twelfth Night, also known as What You Will. This one was released in 1996 and starring Helena Bonham Carter, Richard E. Grant, and Imogen Stubbs. I'll warn you now, this version seems to be the most straightforward adaptation that actually made it to this list. I guess we just really have a weakness for the modern retellings. But in this case, it made its way here for a reason. The cast is phenomenal, and they really managed to bring the play to life in the way that Shakespeare intended it, though on screen rather than on stage. One thing I really admire about this version is that they actually handle the mistaken gender dilemma really well. Imogen Stubbs makes a surprisingly convincing man. Not to cast aspersions on her femininity, of course. And you really feel her grief over her brother's death, and their shared joy when they actually find out that the other is still alive. I have just a bit of a soft spot for twin moments for some reason. Also, and possibly the main reason why this film was chosen as a top-notch Shakespearean comedy adaptation, the director really knows how to milk the hilarity of an awkward pause. And he made sure that the cast could do it too. Don't believe me? I dare you to check it out, and I challenge you not to laugh. Does it surprise anyone that 10 Things I Hate About You managed to make it into our list for best Shakespearean adaptations? I think not. Another modern adaptation, this movie takes the more challenging approach of bringing The Taming of the Shrew into the 20th century. Not an easy thing to do in a way that's still respectful to the original material and to women as well, but they managed to pull it off. And they're very tongue-in-cheek with their selective use of direct lines from Shakespeare. On the one hand, you have Cameron bemoaning that he burns, he pines for Bianca, which receives the response, "Of course you do." It just adds that extra layer to it. They don't try to overdo it by bringing iambic pentameter into the vocab of high schoolers, but they manage to slip it in when they can. Moving on to another comedy, Joss Whedon's Much Ado About Nothing was released in 2012 and starred Amy Acker and Alexis Denisof, and it was awesome. We all know that Joss can do no wrong. But damn, Whedon! Who knew his talents lent itself to Shakespeare? And I love the story behind this too. Like, he really just called up a bunch of his talented friends and they filmed it at his house for a week or so. But even better, you can tell he actually really thought this through, what with the choice of staging around the set and the artistic choice of black and white palette to convey the artistry of the play. And his casting was top-notch. Amy Acker as Beatrice brings a vivacity and brightness to the role, yet she's also darn right scary when she's on the warpath for hero's honor. Though I gotta say, Nathan Fillion stole the show for me as the bumbling sheriff. He was just so straight-faced when delivering his lines that it made the nonsense he was spouting even funnier. So, to wrap up the selection, guys, I really want to be friends with Joss Whedon. Anyway, while we're on the subject of Much Ado, we have another version to add to our list. The filmed stage version starring Catherine Tate and David Tennant, which we're pretty sure is out on DVD somewhere, or very soon will be. This version made our list because, being a stage version that just happened to be caught on film, it shows the difference between movie versions and live performance. As good as movies can be, there's really just no capturing the charisma and the in-the-moment hilarity that can come from a stage comedy. And in this particular version, David Tennant is side-splittingly hilarious as Benedict, and his comedic chemistry with Catherine Tate just reminds us all why we used to love Donna and the Doctor so much. But I digress. This version makes us laugh like none other. So much so that our stomach hurts afterwards, although that could also be sympathy pains from when Catherine Tate gets launched into the air on a harness. Now, the last adaptation is more of a loose retelling, but it's a classic nonetheless. Because if there's any movie that has managed to bring Shakespearean drama into the modern age seamlessly, it's The Lion King. Ha! You weren't expecting that one, were you? But in all seriousness, how brilliant an idea was this? Turn Hamlet into a vaguely recognizable animated film featuring lions, with the safari as the kingdom in dispute. And how many millions of children are therefore introduced to Shakespeare without even realizing it? Just, with happier endings across the board. Like you've got Simba as Hamlet, and Nala as Ophelia, Timon and Pumbaa as Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and I guess Zazu would be Polonius? Like I said, it's loose, and probably not the most accurate adaptation, but it's definitely a favorite. I don't know about anyone else, but when I was old enough to actually read and understand the original play, the association with a beloved childhood movie helped me to enjoy the drama and even to understand the plot just that little bit more. I call that the wishbone effect. Anyone? Moving on. And that has been our list of best Shakespearean adaptations, both modern and period, though mainly modern. I know for a fact we left a lot of other really good choices off the list, but if you feel like one of your favorites has been unfairly left out of the loop, please let us know in the comments section. And if you send a response in iambic pentameter, I promise to try to do the same. If you've enjoyed this vlog and want to watch out for more, make sure to subscribe to our weekly video updates. We're also active on Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter, which are all listed below in the info section. And of course, make sure to check out our blog and our podcast on iTunes. Thanks for tuning into Adaptation, and until next time, Lord, what fools these mortals be.